Retirement Railroad 2.0, and this is another episode of Workbench Wednesday. I'm Steve, and today we are gonna work on a decoder installation, but I'm not gonna put you through the whole thing. It's a move to a premium decoder. Now, when I say premium, I look at Loksound, TCS, WowSound, and Soundtraxx Tsunami 2. Those are probably the top three premium decoders. And I've got a handful of factory installed Loksound V5 decoders in some of my locomotives. And I have one Soundtraxx Tsunami in a locomotive, and the rest are all mostly Digitrax, but there's a few oddball MRCs and Broadway Limiteds, etc. So we have a Proto 2K SD7 here. The top hatch is off, and I've disconnected it. And the previous owner had customized the couplings to accept KDs, and did it in such a manner that let's just say was not optimum. So I've got to redo the coupler housings, and the frames on these P2Ks is basically the same as an Athearn with added weight. Now it came with a light board in it, as you see here, okay, and a decoder. So this was obviously a DCC ready locomotive that the previous owner dropped this non-sound decoder into, simply plugged it in. So I've been running it on DCC ever since I got it. But it's such a nice locomotive that I wanted to put sound into it. So I said, well, if I'm going to put sound into it, let's put some premium speakers and a premium decoder, sound decoder in. So I looked up on Scale Sound Systems what speaker or speakers were needed, and I ordered those from Scale Sound Systems, and I ordered the front and back, because the Soundtraxx Tsunami 2 decoder, and I'll turn that around, alright, it's a PNP 8 with EMD, and so I simply removed the light board and decoder, dropped in the plug and play, and it screwed into place, and resoldered up the things. Now I had to make some changes first. I had to mill out right here a little bit of these notches here and here went back further, so I cut it back a little bit, and then there were little knobs here for screws for the other side of that light board. Well, I don't need them, as you can see. The plug and play board, the Tsunami 2, doesn't come back that far, so I ground those off as well. And the rear speaker now for this fits perfectly right into place. On the front, I really didn't have to, but I didn't like how close the metal was here and here. to the metal on the speaker. So I went ahead and ground those off as well. And then I ground this little light tray that the grain of wheat bulb slid into. I ground it back a little bit as well, just so the wiring could flare out and around the speaker. So now that all fits. I screwed in the board. I hooked up the power pickups per the diagram right here. Okay. And have hooked up the lighting. That's all checked out. It runs forward when I have it on forward, and it runs reverse when I have it on reverse, and the lights change accordingly. Now I'm going to add one more bulb. There's room, there's lighting accessories for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for 6 more functions. All right. But they didn't have ditch lights back in the day. At least the CB&Q, Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy didn't. And the way that the light, whatever you want to call it, the piece of clear plastic in here is, I really don't want to pull that out and start fiddle farting around with it. So I'm just going to stick with the front, rear, and cab lighting. Now the cab lighting is going to be a little, it won't be very bright because the speaker's going to be in the way. But hey, we'll do what we can get, right? So let's go ahead and wire up some leads to these 2 speakers. All right, now these will be wired in parallel, and the reason I got 2 speakers is the Tsunami 2 boards are 2-watt speakers, and most speakers you find on the market, you know, the sugar cube types, are only 1 watt. So if you have your master volume cranked up, you're going to blow the speakers. Now by having 2, you can utilize more of the capacity. I still won't have cranked up all the way, but you know, I can go up to 3/4 easy and still should have great sound. But we'll play with that once we get into the programming stage. So with that, hang tight, and I'm going to go ahead and wire some leads onto these speakers before we fit the speakers into place. Alrighty, so we got our speakers front and rear mounted. Front, rear. They are wired in. I have the lights now mounted. So next step is, let's check it out on the track, shall we? Okay, let's see what we got, shall we? Well, that's promising. Going through the startup procedure. That sounds impressive. All right. Reverse. Reverse light is on. Single horn. Ooh, nice. Double horn. Grade crossing. I'll tell you what, those Scale Sound system speakers are nice. Forward, lights change. That's speed step 1, and I mean it's just barely crawling. It is phenomenal. Matches up automatically. I think I'll put the cab light on 4. I don't see 4 doing anything. So. Alright, let's shut it down and get the cab light wired in, and then we can put the shell on and program. There's no keep alive in it, but it does have a quick plug for one, should I desire to put one in later. Alright, so let's do a sound test, and we'll start with the GP7 Phase 2, which is a Digitrax SFX 004. Alright, and it is one of your cheapest sound decoders. Alright, so let me select it. Okay. And here we go. And it's on the closest track. can barely hear the prime mover. Let's run her by again. Pretty much non-eventful. Alright. The next one we're going to run is the Loksound V5. It's a Rapido E9 factory install. So let's get it dialed up. And there it is right here. I think everybody will agree that it sounds top notch. Alright, let's roll it on by. We got a little dirty section of track there, it seems. Dirty wheels, one or the other. Alright, and finally, let's do the SD7 with the Tsunami 2 and scale sound speakers. So we have it selected. And we'll go through the startup procedures. This is at default sound levels. Do the notching. Crossing bell. Crossing horn. What I like is you can actually hear the prime mover and the notching levels. The other nice thing is, I mean, its creep speed is, this is speed step 1. Deep bass off of those scale sound speakers is phenomenal as well. Don't get me wrong, I think the Loksound V5 decoder factory install speaker sounds great. Alright, but I don't like the idea of not having full compatibility with JMRI Decoder Pro for programming. And you have to buy a separate programmer. I'm just not into that. Soundtraxx Tsunami 2, I go right into Jamrai and program everything very easily. So for me, the choice is pretty clear. Everybody is entitled to go the direction they improve, but based upon what you've heard here, I'll stick with the Soundtraxx Tsunami 2 and Scale Sound speakers. Well, thank you for joining me here at the Retirement Railroad 2.0 Workbench Wednesday. I'm Steve, and y'all have a great day. Bye now.